It's Luke and Naomi.
Episode 104. Welcome in to Luke and Naomi on air, featuring Naomi's Under a Rock reviews. Hello.
Hello.
I'm Luke Austin. That's Naomi Lynn.
We're back.
We are back. Got a good one this week, throwing it way back. Kids movie, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I love that Naomi hasn't seen this one because it's like, I had so much fun rewatching it and all of that stuff. So really excited to get to her review. If you don't know, I've seen a ton of movies. Naomi has not. Nope. So if you've seen the movie, relive your first watch through Naomi's eyes. If you've never seen it either, should you watch it? And you get to find out how Naomi feels watching something that we may all just absolutely love, and she does not.
Yeah, we'll see.
You can check out several of our old episodes for reactions like that, like with what comes to mind right away. Saving Silverman most recently, and
Peter Pan is always up
Peter
there.
Pan is a big one. She just destroys Tinkerbell.
I enjoyed the movie Peter Pan. It was okay, but Tinkerbell is just a... I have some choice words for her.
I absolutely love it. So I think we should have some fun with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, judging by the atmosphere while we were watching it. Of course, we're a day late.
We'll see.
We're a day late with the recording and release because of the stupid Super Bowl.
Yeah, the best part about that, though, is we didn't even realize until right before the game started. When it was like, oh, yeah, we were supposed to watch a movie tonight.
That's right, because we normally do on Sundays.
Yeah, and it was like, oh, shoot, okay, well, it looks like everything's getting pushed back this week. Surprise!
And, we should have just watched the damn movie. Okay, listen, I'm an admitted Philadelphia hater. Congratulations, Philadelphia, and their stupid fans, and their stupid team, and their stupid city. But
hey, you have friends that are Philadelphia fans.
Yeah, he knows he's stupid.
Okay, all right.
But, whatever. They just, it was so boring. One of the worst Super Bowls ever. I was talking about this with a coworker. We pulled up Super Bowls, and it's up there.
I never remember the actual game ever.
Well, no, because you're mostly socializing and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I'll be watching a little bit of it and watching the score and all of that kind of stuff. But after a week, I don't remember. And then year after year, I'm I don't even remember who played. You don't keep that information.
Easy. You definitely don't, especially if you're just a casual fan and all of that stuff, which I can completely understand. But yeah, I was going through a list, and it's there was some good ones recently. The last time Kansas City and Philadelphia played was much better. It was just,
when was that?
2 or 3 years ago, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I assumed it was longer.
It was just a little bit more competitive, and it would have been a better game if Philadelphia didn't blow them out until the fourth quarter. Just,
right.
That's just obvious. That's
a
better game, of course. But anyway, you you did it. Naomi did it, gang. If you listened to last episode in the whole Twix challenge, what do they call it? The stare down?
Yeah.
Naomi
it was
did it.
Second screen stare down.
That was the game for both of us, honestly. But watching Naomi do this was more entertaining than the actual Super Bowl was this year, honestly.
Let me tell you, it was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
So if you don't know, quickly, we talked about it last episode. Twix was running this contest where if you watch their app, their screen for the commercials, instead of watching commercials, you'll get entries for the chance at 2 gold bars.
Yeah.
Or you can take a cash option. And so Naomi says, okay, I'm going to do this. So you started looking into it.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this is pretty easy. You go on their website. The first time it lines you up so that they can start using this eye tracking software through the front of your camera on your phone,
right?
To make sure that you are actually looking at the screen. And it is very precise because I was testing it out and I would just look to the corner of my eye just really quick, and at the bottom of the screen it would flash that you're looking away, you have to look back at the screen, and if you stayed off of the screen for a second and a half, it would shut down and you'd have to re-enter.
I was watching a little bit of this as you were testing it out.
Yes.
Over Naomi's shoulder, and it's a trip how accurate it really is. We are all doomed.
Oh yeah, but I was okay, I can do this. All I have to do is stare at my phone screen. I can do that, get all these entries in for a chance to win 2 gold bars, or the cash value, which was $170, or I think it got up to $180,000 It was just based on what the gold
the
market
value of
was.
gold at the time. Yeah.
But anyways, so the game starts, and I'm staring at the screen during all the commercial breaks.
I think you hit every commercial break, right?
I'm pretty sure I did. It was a total of, actually, no, I do actually have the total here.
So it was a game in the house while you're looking this up of us making sure I was actually sort of helping her game the system a little bit just by muting the TV. I muted the commercials, most of the commercial breaks when I could remember, so that she wasn't distracting.
They were very distracting. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
After the first couple, you're like, this is a little tougher than I thought. So I was like, okay, well, if you can't hear it, that might help a little bit.
And it did. But there were times where like my eyes started zoning out, and it would say, hey, look back at the screen. So I have no idea what my eyes were doing.
They're
if I was
looking
going
at your
like
nose. You're probably just going cross-eyed, looking at your nose.
Yeah. So I had a few times where I had to rejoin, and I lost valuable seconds. And plus, if you took a little bit too long to like access your camera to start, you lost valuable seconds. But I screenshot my final scorecard for a total of 73 minutes and 57 seconds staring at my phone screen.
Oh my God, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. Not only that, but
not even scrolling, so you didn't get to see different things. It was just
so the screen was 2 gold bars with 2 eyeballs on them,
which is creepy.
And
as hell.
so like I was staring at the eyeballs for a little while.
That's a challenge in and of itself, having these weird looking eyeballs that don't really kind of match. There's
Yeah, and they kind of like they just move a little bit, and I was staring at the light in the eyes and all of that. So I missed every single commercial. I got to work on Monday, and of course a couple people are talking about the commercials, and I didn't say anything because I was like, well, I stared at my phone the entire time. I saw some of the game, but I did not see any of the commercials.
I
also didn't win, by the way. I'm just going to announce that now.
You know for sure?
They said they would make the announcement on the 10th.
I saw on or
11th.
About the 10th.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I imagine. We didn't get any calls or emails
or anything like that. But I did celebrate. Luke went to work and brought back 2 little Twix bars so I could have a little treat afterwards, because staring at that, I was like, man, it's been a long time since I had a Twix.
Our sales manager has a candy bowl in the office, and I was like, I wonder if there's any Twix in there, because she was just it worked.
It's
you like
diabolical.
Twix.
If you
like
think
Twix,
about it,
but,
hey, don't look at any other advertising. Just look right here. Just look at me.
And I bet you on the technology for the eye tracking and the website or extra, was it an app or whatever it was?
No, it's just on their website.
Just on their website. So just to throw up that page and pay for the eye tracking, probably nowhere near the $8 million that it was for a 30-second commercial this year. So just genius by Twix.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos.
And it was fun. Honestly, it was a fun game to play while the game was going on.
And it was the perfect game to do it in because it was boring as hell.
There you go.
There you go. Also, we went to, there's an Edgar Allen Poe Speakeasy that's touring the country. They're based out of Orlando. And we were lucky enough to have a couple of friends buy us tickets to this thing. And, neither one of us are Poe scholars or, huge Edgar Allen Poe.
No, I know like 2 of his works.
We know the Raven and the Telltale Heart.
Yeah.
Right?
Those 2, yes.
Yeah. And I know them both from The Simpsons.
Right.
Okay, so my versions are both, Lisa and her diorama and the
with
new
the
girl
heartbeat.
in school. And,
yeah.
And then the Raven as read by, I believe it's James Earl Jones and, Dan Castellaneta as Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
In one of the first Treehouse of Horror episodes.
Yeah.
Which is just great. So never any other experience or anything like that. So this thing's going on. We're going to go check it out. It sounds really cool. It was.
It was amazing. So it was, again, Edgar Allan Poe. It was 4 of his works. And
was it like 3 most famous and then 1 lesser known or something like that?
I guess.
That's what I took away from it, I think.
I don't know. It was just, all of them were creepy, as you would expect. Edgar Allan Poe is very dark and twisted. But the cool thing that they did was, they're calling it the speakeasy experience. So, you had a lot of people dressed up in like 20s, like flapperware and all of that kind of
It's a
stuff.
combination of like that and like the goth
And
type
steampunk
of,
kind
a
of
little
stuff.
Steampunk,
Yes.
yeah. There's some cool stuff.
But each of the works was paired with a drink that fit kind of the atmosphere that, they were portraying, basically.
Yeah.
So you got 4 drinks in an hour and a half while they
Wonderful.
were doing these, I don't want to call them performances. I was
Yeah.
going to say presentations. That's
Performances. Yeah, that much better. Much better.
Yes. But it was really, really well done. The actors and actresses were very involved, and it was them kind of paraphrasing a lot of it, so you didn't get lost in some of the wording and all of that. It was their take on this work of art.
Yeah, it was very, very well done. The performances, again, just really good.
The drinks, they were so good.
The drinks were excellent too. It wasn't just like, here's a rum and Coke.
Yeah.
They
were fancy smancy drinks.
all fancy as hell, all delicious too.
Yes.
One of them was white.
Yeah.
Which was
that went with what they call it. They called it like that cat's meow or something like that.
It was really, really good. And here's the thing. I saw a story beforehand that the average fan for the Super Bowl would consume about 4 drinks nationwide average, right?
Okay.
For the whole Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We had 4 in an hour and a half.
Yes.
That
Yes, we
was
did.
Excellent. So leaving there was great.
Oh, yeah, we felt great. I took a nap at like 8 o'clock because I couldn't make it any longer after struggling to make it to 8 o'clock.
So highly recommend. If it comes to your area, you see it again, highly recommend.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if you're not like a big drinker, but like to try new things, definitely check it out. You will enjoy the experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Let's get to some of the random facts for this episode and jump into our goofy stuff, and then we'll get to our review of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Rick Moranis, man. It's a bummer that he disappeared from Hollywood, but cool for why he did. We'll do that one later. Your recurrent dose of Did You Know? Some random facts for episode 104. Big shout out to Paul for giving me the phrase recurrent dose of Did You Know? And
It's a lot
on the back,
better.
self-pat on the back for remembering it this episode too.
Yeah, a lot better than what you had before.
Which was,
I don't even remember.
you'll have to listen to old episodes to find out. Did you know, not to be a downer after all the Super Bowl stuff, but a study from Goldman Sachs estimates that by 2028, up to 70 million Americans will have tried Ozempic or similar weight loss drugs.
70 million?
70 million.
Wow.
The population in 2028 is projected to be about 355 million, with 279 million adults. So that means up to 25% of American adults will have tried it.
Huh.
Or portion control. That's a thing too. Did you know that in the early 1900s, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich was considered a delicacy and only eaten by rich people?
Really?
Yeah, peanut butter was super expensive or something like that.
Crazy.
By the 20s, though, the price of peanut butter went way down, and PB&J became much more popular.
And now that's what you eat when you're poor.
And now I want one. And now I'm really craving to just all of a sudden, boom, PB&J is like on my mind.
I had toast today with jam on it and also 8 scoops of peanut butter. So I think I'm set, honestly.
Oh, please, please stay down, price of peanut butter. Did you know in an NHL game, if all of a team's goalies are injured, the team has the option to suit up anybody as their goalie, even someone from the stands?
I didn't know that. No.
That just happened
I remember
a handful of years. It wasn't last year or the year before, but it was a few years ago.
Wasn't it the equipment manager?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he got a win.
Yeah.
I don't think he got a shutout, but he got a win.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I can't remember what team. I should have looked it up, but
But
whatever.
I didn't think you could just pick anybody. I
Yep.
thought it had to be like somebody who actually works there or something. I don't know.
Gotta have a goalie.
Yeah, I guess.
Hockey is just such a wonderful sport.
It is.
It really is. Go Red Wings. Did you know Colgate started selling a line of frozen dinners in 1982? What is the first thing you think of when I say Colgate frozen dinner?
Just toothpaste in like a frozen dinner tray.
Do you think minty, though? Right?
Yes.
So, I mean, they failed miserably because people associated their logo with toothpaste, not good food.
Yeah.
I would just think minty turkey.
That's funny. I was picturing a brownie.
Mint
You
jelly?
know? No, thank you.
Did you know finally the first person to use the phrase founding fathers was Warren G. Harding? He accepted his party's nomination for president in 1920. That was a terrible one to end on.
Yeah, that was real bad. You should
I
have just
really-
had 4 facts.
Jeez. All right, I take back the last one.
Okay.
How about that?
That's
All right.
fine.
We, I'm not going to be able, this isn't going to help me at all.
Okay.
I have a Super Bowl commercial roundup here. I wanted to rattle off a couple that I thought were fun, but it's just the title of them, and I don't even remember half of them. So,
It wouldn't help me. I have no idea.
USA Today did a poll on everybody's favorite, and the Budweiser Clydesdales was the winner.
Okay.
So if you didn't see it,
I have to look it up.
the Clydesdales were all leaving the barn to go, get to the Super Bowl or what have
Okay.
you,
Yeah.
and a keg falls off the truck.
Okay.
And so there's a little baby Clydesdale behind him that kicks the keg all the way to a bar somewhere.
Aw.
And as he's going in the bar, there's a guy sitting at the bar with his buddies. And he goes, so a horse walks into a bar, and they turn around and the horse is pushing it, so that's
Nice.
everybody's
That's clever.
favorite. Yeah. Lay's commercial, I don't remember. Again, I was paying attention to Naomi doing a lot of her goofiness for that.
Listen, this was very important. We had a chance at winning some money.
Michelob Ultra, David and Dave, David Beckham and Matt Damon were Matt Damon's David Beckham's long lost twin brother.
Okay, that one you didn't have muted because I remember
You
hearing
remember
that.
hearing that one?
Yep.
All right. The Flag 50, the NFL one, if that's the one I'm thinking of, which is awesome, or they're pushing to get flag football as a varsity sport for
Oh, cool.
for girls, though,
Yeah.
specifically across the country. That is super cool. And the girl that they featured, they featured a couple, but the main girl they featured is just nasty. Like her, oh my God. I know it's a commercial and all that, but still, it was really cool. They had the Post Malone, Shane Gillis, and Peyton Manning Bud Light commercial everybody loved. Big Men on Cul-de-sac, they called it. Century of Cravings, Matthew McConaughey, Kevin Bacon, Martha Stewart, Charlie XCX for Uber Eats. You've seen the commercials all throughout the football season where they're like, yeah, the NFL is just created to sell you food.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
What are you eating over there, Jerry? Rice. Yeah. Pfizer had a big commercial. Doritos had one. Jeep with Harrison Ford, where at the end he was like, I'm a Ford. So
That's
that was
funny.
really good. Instacart, Google, Dove, some of the other big ones.
All the
Coors
ones
Light.
who could afford commercials for $8 million for a 30-second spot.
Shout out to Pringles for one of the weirder ones where I can't remember who it was, but he empty Pringles can and he blows into it or yells into it or something, and everybody's mustaches jump, famous mustaches jump off and come to the rescue or something.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was crazy. You'll see that one again for sure.
Okay.
Speaking of food and all of that stuff, Pizza Week was a couple of weeks back, and I saw the story, and I forgot to talk about it somehow. But a pizza place has announced, how pizza places with the pineapple, right? So
Yeah.
we like the pineapple, but we're not here to go to war over it and all that
No,
stuff.
I don't care enough to go to war over pineapple.
I would rather.
It's a fruit.
I love pineapple, but on pizza, if you don't like it, then don't freaking put it on there, and we'll have pizza together. It'll be fine. You know what I mean? It just give me, as long as there's mozzarella cheese, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But there's a place that just added Hawaiian pizza to their menu, but the owners hate pineapple, so they kind of did it because too many people were asking, right? So they decided to charge more for the pineapple,
Makes sense.
$100,
Doesn't make sense.
or I guess it's 100 pound. 100 pounds? Is it plural? I don't
I
know.
would assume it's plural.
I can't. I'm trying to learn Spanish, so I can't. English is just failing me right now, especially real English. Do we call it? I don't know. Brian, help.
England English.
What do I do, Brian? Anyway,
I don't think he can help you here. You are on your own. Man.
speaking of Brian, the place is in England. It's called Lupa Pizza. So find it, Brian. Tell them they're crazy. Take a picture, something.
Yeah.
You don't have to get pizza there because it's expensive. The
Why would you-
pepperoni. The pepperoni pizza is 12 pounds or $15, but their Hawaiian pizza with ham and pineapple will cost over 120.
That's insane. I get it for the joke and the marketing side of it, but yeah, that's insane.
And then they have 4 slices of the circle from the can just slapped on there. So first of all,
That's not how you put pineapple on a pizza. That's not how you put pineapple on anything except for maybe a burger.
that, right?
Yeah.
Second, I'm not taking food criticism from English. Sorry, Brian, but salad cream.
Yeah, let's not talk about salad cream.
You know what I mean? So no. And third, like, look at that pictures on YouTube. You know, if you want to
be disgusted by it.
If you're not listening / watching on YouTube at this point, you should be. But the pictures on YouTube, because like, look at this. That's
Gross.
ridiculous. And so I love the whole thing about it, like the attitude around it, though. Their sign says, "Yeah, for 100 pounds you can have it."
Okay.
So they're just
I wish
very
I was
blunt about it. I
rich
love it.
so I could blow my money on things like that and be like, you know what? I am gonna make this, or I am gonna buy this pizza that you hate making. That's right. Put pineapple on it.
That's right.
I'm gonna ask for extra pineapple. $200, no problem.
I'm gonna send it back too.
That's right.
I need more.
I need more pineapple on this.
Less burnt, please.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. That's I love it though. Just the whole thing. Like, what a dumb thing to worry about. There's a place over in Leland here, local to us, that's from, I don't want to get it wrong, Brooklyn or Long Island, but it's a big difference.
Yeah.
But they're great. The pizza's awesome, but they
Yes.
don't even, like, he won't allow pineapple in the building.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk in with a can of pineapple.
Just set it
What
on
are you
the
gonna
counter.
do?
Just set it on the counter. Sorry, I just went grocery shopping.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna order a pizza, sit down to eat it, and then open up that can and put some pineapple on that pizza.
Do you think we will ever stop arguing about food like this ever?
No. Food is such a man, it brings people together and it tears them apart. It really does.
It really does. It's just crazy.
So no, like we will always argue about the pineapple on pizza. That will always be a big one. I think that's around to stay. I don't know. We'll always find things to argue about when it comes to food.
Yeah, for sure. We absolutely will. The hot dog stuff,
Yeah.
Just anything.
Like what condiments belong on a hot dog?
Or if it's a sandwich.
Or that too.
I always like, is cereal soup? That's
I
a
hate
good
that.
one
It just
too.
grosses me
Those
out
are all real
thinking
dumb.
about it.
All real dumb, right? All right. That's it for the goofy shit for this week. We've got some answers from the mayonnaise query.
Speaking of food,
And speaking of
condiments.
food and arguing too, because
Yeah.
the Miracle Whip. If you didn't hear last episode, how old is the mayo in your fridge?
Yeah, honest, like, we want honest answers. Like, go to your fridge, open up the door, and read what the date is on that.
And you can still get in on the questions and answers, as late as you want to. It doesn't matter. I saw a report from the, what was the USDA? Does that make sense? Department of Agriculture. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And they said mayonnaise after you open it is only good for about 2 months. And
Lies.
At the time, we had just replaced the mayonnaise, but it had been there for a long time.
Long.
And I mean, I always remember having mayo in the fridge for freaking ever. And
Yeah.
I don't mean like I didn't notice that my parents had switched it out or whatever. I know what's in the fridge and how long it's
Yeah.
been there. Like, so
We
forever.
have not had mayonnaise on the grocery list for over a year.
So apparently most people go through a ton of mayo or replace it often because we are definitely it's not even the minority in it, it's just us. It's just
So we're
us,
gross.
apparently. That's exactly what I was trying to avoid too. So yeah, that's a bummer. So I actually
How
posted.
bad are we, though?
Most people just like the post because they're not that gross. So I said, someone please tell me more than 2 months on the post on Facebook. Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook, by the way, if you want to find us there. Or you can always drop your comments wherever you're listening, and we will aggregate them. But my mom says it's entirely possible she has some for 2 months, but my kid brother, who has moved back home, says, nah, I make tuna every night. We got 4 tubs on deck. That's a lot of mayonnaise, man. That's a lot of mayonnaise.
How can you go through that much, though? Like,
That's,
I don't
every night
understand.
I get, but still, that's a lot of mayonnaise.
do you put mayonnaise on, like, every single sandwich you make? Do you, like...
How much how much mayonnaise are you using to mix up the tuna?
How small of a mayonnaise container are you buying? Let's start there. Because if it's one of the really little ones that is like, well, probably like $6 now at the grocery store, I can see going through that in 2 months. Sure. I don't think we would because, again, we don't put mayonnaise on everything.
He used the phrase tubs. He says, I got
Yeah,
4
so I
tubs.
imagine like a big boy.
How much
you know?
mayo? That's kind of gross, dude. Let's see. Bitch and Dan says I use Miracle Whip, so I said, yeah, that's already gross enough. It doesn't matter.
Of course you did.
Doesn't matter how long it's in the fridge.
Listen, I'll keep that Miracle Whip in the fridge for, half a year too. It's fine.
And Mark Delore, Mark D came to our rescue here with, he says, heck yes, Dukes, older than that. So
that's right.
I'm assuming he's had Dukes in the fridge forever.
Yeah, it lasts forever. It's fine until it smells funky. Like, just eat it.
The USDA, by the way, did say use the smell test. If it smells fine, it's okay.
I feel like you can do that with most things.
So I guess we're here to educate everybody that mayonnaise lasts way longer than 2 months after you open it.
Instead of Big Pharma, it's Big Mayonnaise.
Big mayonnaise, yeah. Come on, keep buying it.
It goes bad after 2 months. You want to replace it with this big jar that's only $9.99 compared to this little one for $6.99.
That's crazy. Brian in England, you got to try Duke's mayonnaise. He says he ends up with 2 to 3 squeezy bottles of mayonnaise because he says you get like 3/4 down and it won't come out.
Yeah.
Like the rest of it.
It's so annoying.
So he starts a new one. I mean, you can bang it on the wall or something.
No,
man.
I unscrew the top part, I break it apart, and I'm getting a knife. Yeah, and I'm scooping out every last little bit of that. Big mayonnaise ain't gonna get me.
He says he'll eventually use one of the older ones, which has normally been in the fridge about 12 weeks, and I'm still alive.
There you go.
All right, Brian to the rescue.
Yes.
Right on.
I appreciate that answer.
I don't know. Is that a British thing that he went with weeks, or is he just trying to make it seem like a shorter period of time? Because, 3 months is good.
I don't know.
That's a good length, Anyway.
No, I like 12 weeks.
He also says Hidden Valley Ranch lasts about 1 day.
Yeah, that stuff doesn't last.
If you know, you know. And he says, and your favorite salad cream lasts about 3 weeks.
Ours lasted
a long ass time because we didn't eat it. It's not even that bad. It's just nothing. It's just bland.
Yeah. There are other things, like ranch dressing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for playing along, Brian. Let me get just like a scathing message back from him.
Well, you kind of deserve it. You were
Listen here,
kind
you
of
wanker.
mean.
We still, anyway. Thank you to everybody who answered that question. Will you have another one for next week?
We're going sweeter this time.
We are. Sweeter and less gross, I guess,
Yeah.
So,
I hope less gross.
We all right. Way to set the stage. Excellent. We want to get into history a little bit. Tell us something interesting about your grandparent. Interesting, not gross, please. Naomi just can't contain herself. She's so proud of that over there.
I was really proud of that.
I'm proud of you for it too, because you really went for it there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You went with, no, we're gonna be sweet, and then just totally dive bombed. I love it. That's my little lady. Wonderful. All right. Tell us something interesting about your grandparent. We all have some sort of grandparent, right? And mine no longer with us, but I still could tell you something interesting about them.
Yeah, you probably still have stories,
And I
or
will.
your parents have the stories and all of that.
That's right. So I got some cool stuff about my grandfather that I will save for next week. I know a little bit of interesting stuff about at least one of your grandfathers, so that's cool. Excited to see your stories. Really want to, just get into that whole history thing, brag on your grandfolks.
Talk about the past, all
The
that good
abuelas
stuff.
and abuelos. Let
All
us
of
know.
it.
Can't wait. We will read our favorite stories, of course, next episode, which should be next week. It should be on time.
Should be, in case unless we forget again.
That's the plan, anyway.
Oh, shoot. We were supposed to be watching a movie right now. All right.
Luke and Naomi on air on Facebook or wherever you're listening is where you can drop those comments. We will bring our favorite answers again to you next week. It is time now. We'll get to it without further ado. I'll hit the button just to keep us rolling here. Are you ready?
Yep.
Yeah. I love that. It's an excellent sound for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, right?
It honestly is very fitting.
You think so?
Yeah.
The music alone in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids brought me way back and is just so much fun.
It reminds me of live action Looney Tunes.
A little bit, yes. Yeah, it's just excellent. So take it away. Let's go. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
All right. Let's jump in. So we meet the main family. We've got the dad who's a scientist, the daughter Amy, and the son Nick. Apparently mom and dad had a fight and mom spent the night with her parents, so we don't know her yet. The dad is busy working in the attic on a shrink ray, but apparently it's not working. He's got some big conference, and if things go well, their lives will change. You know, at least that's what he keeps telling his wife. And he ends up telling her when she calls again. Before he leaves for the conference, he tells Amy and Nick that they need to make the house spotless and take care of the yard before their mom gets home. Apparently they had a fight and, you know, she's mad and all of that. So, all right, let's make mom happy, clean the house, make everything perfect and all of that.
Yeah.
We also get to meet the neighbors who definitely seem to dislike them. The whole family seems to have a problem with the dad being loud in the morning. Nick, I guess, is a nerd and doesn't do normal kid activities, so he gets made fun of for that.
He's definitely your, Big Bang Theory type of kid.
Yeah.
That's what that reminded me of.
And they're kind of mean to the family, and they should just mind their own business.
Yeah, right. Matt Frewer, the dad of the neighbors, by the way, who's just, if you know Matt Frewer, you do. Lawnmower Man 2. He's in The Watchmen. And I think he had his own sitcom at one point, Dr. Doctor, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway.
I'm going to be describing him in just a moment here.
All right.
I have some
thoughts?
Yeah, I've got some thoughts
there
about
we go.
him. All right, yeah. Anyway, the younger of the mean neighbors, Ron, hits a baseball through the attic window right where the dad, the scientist, was working on his shrink ray. Of course, it hits the machine and fires it up, and looks like it's working now. Shrinks the furniture that's in that room.
The thinking couch.
Yeah, the thinking couch, yep. And also that little kid is a brat. He was blaming the broken window. He was like, it's their fault because the window shouldn't have been closed because it's a nice day. Like, what?
I love it. That kid, first of all, his name is Ron.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest name for a little kid.
Yeah, and it's got to be like Ronnie or
something.
Ronald
just
or
not
something.
Ron. That's just, it's weird
Ron.
for a little kid. And he was the best friend in Big with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, well, he's a little brat in this one.
He's kind of a brat in Big, too, but in a good way.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's blaming them for the broken window. You shouldn't have had your window closed. It's a nice day. Also, their dad is really weird. He reminds me of a less funny and less animated Jim Carrey. He's just...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good comparison. Yeah.
He's just weird, and I don't know if it's his character that's weird or if it's the actor himself or a little bit of both.
I think it's a little bit of both.
I just don't like the guy. I don't have a good reason why.
Wait till
I
you
just don't like him.
We're going to watch Watchmen.
Okay.
And just wait till you see his character in Watchmen.
Is it similar?
No, but it was.
It's already making me mad, and I don't even know how to take it. I'm just like, ugh.
The character is super Matt Frewer, so like it
sounds weird.
You'll just know what I'm talking about when you see it.
Okay.
I bet you I can show you a still, and you go, oh, okay.
Yeah, probably, because it just needs to have his face on there.
Yeah.
I'll be like, oh, yeah, okay. All right, anyway, Nick takes Ron up to the attic so they can retrieve the baseball. But then the shrink ray points at them, and poof, they've been shrink.
Shrunk.
Yeah, Amy and the other neighbor, Russ, Ron's brother, run upstairs to find out what's taking them so long, and then they get hit with the shrink ray as well. Oh, no.
And now we're off.
Yeah. Wayne, the dad, unfortunately does not have a good presentation at the conference. I felt bad. This is like a kid's movie. I thought, oh, yeah, the conference is going to go great. It's supposed to, right? Yeah. But it didn't.
You would think so.
Yeah. But at least his invention works, even though he doesn't know that yet. But he'll finally get the chance, hopefully, to show him. And, he'll be a genius.
But first,
doesn't look like that's the case because Wayne gets home and he's pissed, so he ends up breaking the shrink ray.
Oh man, that is like a terrifying moment, right?
Yeah, he hits it with a piece of itself. Like he pulls a piece off and then just starts like swinging it like a hammer. And the kids
That's
are
what
trying
you're supposed to do.
I guess, but the kids are yelling at him, but they're too small, so he can't hear them or anything. And then we have this really cool scene where he starts sweeping up the mess he made, little pieces of glass and bolts and screws and all that, that he broke off the machine. Well, the kids are in the mix and they're trying to run away from the broom, but they're too small, so they're like running one way, and then the broom starts going the other way, so they're running the other way. They can't outrun it. They end up getting swept up, thrown in the trash, then he ties up the bag and throws it outside, which did not see that coming.
Really?
It's going to be a lot harder to get back to the house and find a way for the dad to realize that you're there than if were just hanging out in the house. Safe place,
Yeah, you're just messing around in the floorboards and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're cool. It's fine.
You said really cool scene. You liked like the miniaturization. And
I did. I thought it was really cute.
Because that's our first kind of peek into what it's going to be like.
Yeah. Decently done considering how old the movie
Right.
is and
Yeah,
everything.
it did hold up too.
It held up pretty well. This part, anyways. At this point, I'm intrigued with the movie.
Right on.
I'm invested.
Yeah, the adventure has been set.
Yeah.
And it's just crossing the damn backyard.
Yeah.
I remember being a little kid and just being so like, oh my God, like that was mind blowing. Like it's just the backyard, but it's so far away.
But it's a lot, and there's creepy crawlies and things like that. And right now they're stuck in a plastic bag, a big trash bag.
Yeah, that's freaky. Remember they always told you don't put the bag over your head and all that stuff?
Now you're trapped in one. All right. So mom gets home, can't find the kids. She makes some calls. She talks to the neighbors. Their kids are missing too.
Uh-oh.
In the meantime, all the kids are having quite the adventure, sliding down grass blades. They're climbing on flowers. Bees end up showing up, though. After Nick had fallen into a flower, a bee takes off with him.
I love the pollen thing.
All the pollen stuck to him. Oh, I didn't like that.
Well, he's allergic to it like really bad.
Yeah.
But he was too small, so it was too big to get into his system. So
but it was all over him. There's like chunks on his face. Did not like that.
It looked like popcorn.
Ugh.
I would have taken a bite.
Gross.
It looked
Probably
like
tastes
popcorn.
like flour.
It tastes like flour.
Yeah. But yeah, so a bee takes off with him, but before it does, Russ jumps on the bee as well.
Superhero. Super action hero.
Besides the not so great animation at this point, that would be absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this movie would scare me if I was a child.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
It's
We
super
haven't gotten to
adventure fun movie.
but a bee has picked you up. If that bee drops you, if you fall, you're going to die.
Well, he was dicking around in the flower for too long. He should have gotten out.
Yeah, he should have.
If that happened to me, I would have been out of that flower already.
Yeah, sure. But I don't know, just scary. Like I'm pretty sure this would terrify me.
That's awesome.
All those kids should have been dead 10 times already. All right, so the dad finds out that his shrink ray works. He
Crazy.
notices the bat in the yard, and he knows it doesn't belong to his kids. It's got to belong to the neighbors. He notices the broken window, so he goes back in the attic. He sees the baseball, and then he steps and hears a crunch. It's his couch that got shrunken first. That's when he realizes the kids have shrank too. So
Honey,
now he's on a mission to find them. Yes.
here we go.
Yeah.
This Rick Moranis, I don't think anybody could have done it. Could have done Wayne Zsalinski as good as Rick Moranis. Just
No,
way.
I can't imagine any.
Just the goggles
Actor.
and the goofiness and everything about
The
it.
stilts.
The stilts.
He's on stilts, trying not to step too much on grass where he's sure the kids are because he knows he threw them out in the trash.
It's all set up so well too, with the lawn being way overgrown and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. It was the perfect storm there.
Yeah.
So he's sure the kids are in the grass somewhere. He's got binoculars fastened to a helmet so he can see. Somehow accidentally turns on the sprinklers, which causes more terror for the kids as it's raining water bombs on them.
Water bombs is an excellent phrase because
That's what it was.
There's a great effect in the movie too, where just the way that they make the water droplets seem so huge and
Yeah, and then they splash and explode into water.
love that.
It's definitely, has that kid movie overly exaggerated goofiness and all that, but it is definitely entertaining.
Hell yeah.
All right, so in their shrunken state, the kids find a little Debbie oatmeal cream pie cookie, like the whole thing. Now that would be pretty badass.
Maybe the best scene in the movie.
It's definitely up there. Although the amount that they eat is pretty disgusting. Like they take a chunk the size of their face.
Well, that's what you
And-
got to do.
But that's a lot of cookie and a lot of that cream filling.
I like when Nick just kind of makes his own little sandwich,
Yeah, that's what you should be doing, making little ones of those. At one point I was like, yeah, that would be awesome, but I am a little disgusted.
It's a little gross.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Especially they make they get it all over them.
That especially.
Like,
they all
that's-
have that cream stuff
yeah.
all over their faces. It's on their clothes. And the whole time I'm like, oh, sticky. Oh, that stuff is so sticky.
Well, there's plenty of water to wash off in.
Yeah, the water bombs just happen. They just got to find that water again.
Sticky.
Anyway, of course, there's an ant because oatmeal cream pie in the middle
Sugar.
of your
Yeah.
yard. And it's scary because, well, it would be,
Yeah, it would.
Ants are scary. Can you imagine one, like, you being that small?
That proportion,
Yes.
that scale, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that would be just, especially not being ready for it.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
But they end up harnessing up the ant and dangling a piece of cookie in front of it to get them to take them back to the house.
Which is just genius.
Yeah. While that's happening, Mom comes home. Dad explains to Mom that the shrink ray actually works. Mom is excited and asks if the kids know, which Dad basically explains in fewer words that, well, yeah, they do know because they're shrunken.
Did you count it?
Yeah, it was close enough.
He doesn't say honey, but he says, I shrunk the kids.
Like, why did they not just throw that in there?
I don't know.
I mean, if you have it in the title, you might as well.
They weren't prepared for you. That's all.
I guess not. But I will still count it. Yes. But he lets her know. Yeah,
I shrunk the kids.
he has shrunk the kids.
They're in the backyard somewhere.
And they're in the backyard somewhere. Yep. And then of course she faints, which honestly isn't the worst reaction she could have had. So
we don't have fainting in movies like that anymore.
No.
People don't just fall over.
But hearing news like that, I mean, you could faint, you could scream. What else? There's not a lot you can do.
He just leaves her to process it, answers the door because the police are there, and
Yeah.
the whole setup and everything, and then she just in the background just wipes out. That's
Yeah.
just great.
And then he shuts the door on the police,
See you
which,
later,
by
guys.
the way, if I were the police, I'd be like, yeah, no, we're not leaving yet.
For real.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, for real, that's great.
So now you have both parents in the yard looking for the kids, and the wife knows that they're going to have to tell the neighbors because their kids are involved too.
Yeah, they're pretty sure.
Yep, which is what they do. While all that's going on, the kids make camp at a Lego and decide to sleep in the little
yeah.
circular connecting parts of the Lego. I don't know what you'd call that. Russ and Amy talk, and
Tube.
then they start making out because you have to have a love interest in the story,
Yeah,
right?
it's the 80s.
Yeah. But then we have this scorpion that comes up. More scariness.
Yeah, that's scary. Now the ant, by comparison, is like puppy.
Yeah, I guess, but they're all scary. They're creepy crawlies, and they're the size of houses.
But they're not creepy crawly if they're that big.
They're still creepy crawly.
All right.
It still works no matter what size it is. If there's a 800-foot worm, it's still a creepy crawly. Calling it now.
I mean, we'll watch Dune. You let me know if that's creepy crawly or just big and scary.
All right, so we have this scorpion that comes up. And now they've got the ant that they befriended and the scorpion. They're fighting it out. We've got an epic showdown, although it's like the 80s, so it's not really that epic. But I'm sure it was at the time.
It was.
The animation is really, really rough at this point.
Fought off a scorpion. I believe it was claymation.
Yeah, I
Stop motion or something. I mean, it was 89 it was released in, so
It was hard to watch.
You're not getting it. Good thing it was short.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it was short. Hey, they won. All right, let's get the hell out of here.
Well, the ant gets stabbed by the scorpion and dies, which is, sad.
It's a hallmark of Disney movies.
Somebody's gotta
back
die.
in the day.
Yeah.
Something's got to die.
Yeah.
Walt Disney.
And then the scorpion runs off and they go back to their Lego to sleep. But first they set up a bunch of traps so they won't get killed in the middle of the night.
Love it.
Yeah. In the morning, a different kid comes over to cut the grass and almost kills the kids.
Oh, yeah.
But luckily, Wayne and his wife realize what the noise was outside and they're able to shut off the mower. Just in time, too, because they were about to get sucked up and chopped up into little pieces.
Yeah, they were in the worm tunnels.
Yeah.
I loved the worm tunnels.
Honestly, as soon as they went into one, I was like, I don't like this.
Oh, yeah.
There's spiders, there's worms, there's something big in there.
You and the character Amy both at the same. We're like, this isn't a good idea. What the hell?
Yeah.
It really was, though, until they got near the one opening where they got sucked up. But until then, it was some protection.
Yeah. Then the dog gets close enough to them that they're able to grab onto its fur and get a nice ride back to the house. Yay!
Good job, Quark.
Yeah, once inside, the dog jumps on the table where Wayne is having breakfast, and it lets the kids jump on the table as well. We're almost there.
Not quite out of danger yet.
No, not quite. They just need to get Wayne to notice them, except for one kid fell into Wayne's bowl of Cheerios and milk.
Nick.
Yeah, like he's swimming around in there and would have probably gotten eaten, except for this is a kid's movie, so we know it's going to have a happy ending.
That's right. They hollered for the dog. The dog bites Dad. Dad looks down just in time.
Yeah, just in time. Luckily, Wayne notices the kids. He's able to take them upstairs to the machine. They end up miming out baseball to him, so the dad knows that the baseball is the key to using the laser without it blowing everything up. So Russ and Ron's dad, volunteers
Big
to
Russ.
test out the machine. They shrink him and bring him back to full size. So they know, hey, okay, all right, it works. So then they resize the kids. Resize? I guess.
Rebigulate
Yeah.
is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get there. And then the two neighbor families become friends, and they live happily ever after. The end.
The end.
The end.
All right. Naomi Lynn's Under a Rock review of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I love it. It was so much fun watching this again. So, when I was a kid, I went to Disney, and it was the early 90s, all right?
Okay.
They had Honey, I Shrunk the Kids land. or
Okay.
Whatever.
So everything was big?
Awesome.
That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
There was like a statue of Auntie that you could climb all over.
Cool.
There was leaf slides, Lego climbing thingies, and then they had like the little wormhole tunnels that you could crawl all through and stuff. It was my favorite thing.
That actually sounds really cool.
I was 10 years old, and it was the best. The whole time we're watching this, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I loved that. That was so great. So I wanted to bring that up. So Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Just awesome.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
I did like it. I did have a lot of anxiety for those kids. I really did.
That's terrible.
The idea of crossing the entire backyard. I mean, like, I even skipped out of the notes where Amy was like, what happened? She fell or whatever, got pushed over by water and ended up like...
Oh, yeah, she fell into like a puddle. They had to mouth-to-mouth her.
Yeah, like she almost died.
Thank God somehow a teenager knew how to do that.
Yeah, he learned in French class.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nailed it. Well done. All right. As you know, or maybe you don't know, I asked Naomi a set of review questions for every single movie. They're always the same questions, usually different answers. So did you like it? Generally the first one. We talked in the middle of the review about the title of the movie. In the movie, he doesn't say honey, but he says, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, which is close enough, and I guess you can have like half a point for it.
Good enough for government work, as they
Yeah.
say. What did you know about Honey, I Shrunk the Kids going into the movie?
That the guy was gonna shrink the kid.
Okay, the kids were going to get shrunk.
Yeah.
I'm not good at conjugating in Spanish either. What were your thoughts going into the movie?
Well, I assumed kid movie. It's gonna be pretty cheesy, low maintenance kind of movie. You just kind of sit back and enjoy it.
Right?
You know?
93 minutes long. It's an easy watch.
Yeah, nice easy watch kind of thing. I didn't. It's not that I didn't have high hopes for it, but I just didn't really. I guess I didn't expect much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, low bar. All right.
Yeah.
What surprised you then?
Probably how much I did, was entertained by it.
Right. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, man.
And again, how much my anxiety went through the roof in certain scenes where I'm just like, oh my gosh, this would be terrifying. And I believe if I were a kid, I would be terrified watching
That's
this.
awesome, because I watched the scenes and go, this would be so cool. All of it.
No, the
Fighting a
bee.
scorpion and shit. Yeah.
Like, anything could just carry you off. You're just done for. You're too little. You can't survive.
All right. If you say the same thing about a zombie apocalypse, you're just no fun.
I don't like fighting for my life, you know?
So would you have liked it more or less if you saw it when you were younger? Say, 9 or 10 years old.
I think it would have, honestly scared me a little bit. But I think I would have enjoyed it still. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good. That's the correct answer. What was your favorite part?
I don't know. Ron and his dumbassery was pretty entertaining.
The young kid. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The cookie is easily up there for me. Easily up there. The cookie scene.
Yeah.
That's what you want
That's
to call it.
definitely good.
I love camping in the Legos, but the cookie scene has got to be it.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing, like, using the ant as a mule, I guess.
Right.
I don't know, whatever. What was your least favorite part?
Probably anything with any scariness, getting swept up into, like, first of all, getting swept up by the broom and thrown away. Like, when you landed in that trash can, that probably should have killed you. That's scary, being, like, toted across the yard and thrown outside the fence, in the trash. That's scary.
I love how much thought you put into that, and you really put yourself in the scenario. Right?
I do, yes. If I was
Get right in
shrunken, I would be terrified. It would be very hard to be like, oh my gosh, I have to make it back to the house. This is going to be a long uphill battle here.
I think it's the bee, though. That seems to come up the
The
most.
bee, and honestly, when they first meet the ant, because until they befriend the ant is scary. I don't care what they say. The ant is scary.
All right. Would you recommend it to someone else who hasn't seen it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
All right. Watch it again?
Yeah, possibly.
Stop and watch if it's on TV?
That's a possibly.
And are you happy you watched it?
Of course.
All right, wonderful. Naomi's Under a Rock review of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't think we have Honey, I Blew Up the Baby anywhere in the near future, just because it
sounds dumb.
it's rough. I saw that one in theaters because I like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids so much.
And were you disappointed?
It's them chasing around a giant toddler for an hour and a half.
That doesn't sound fun. That sounds like a nightmare.
Nah, and there's some jokes, but, not as good as the OG.
Yeah.
So
let's not ruin it.
No, definitely not. No, we've got plenty of other sequels to get to as well. We've got, I believe, Austin Powers and Goldmember to get to eventually. Godfather 2. We've got, we still got to do Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, so that you can watch Men in Tights.
Yeah.
Lots of good movies coming up, good stuff on the way. We are never going to run out of movies.
No,
We're like
because
The
by
Simpsons.
the time I get to the older ones, things that were made in 2010 will now be considered old, and I'll need to start watching those.
That's right.
I'll always be behind. It's fine.
Lots and lots of stuff. Have you seen Bad News Bears, by the way?
I saw the one with what's his face.
Billy Bob?
Yeah.
That don't count.
Oh, that's the one I know.
Maybe we'll watch the Walter Matthau one. But anyway, we've got plenty of movies coming
Yeah.
up. This was a great one, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. A lot of fun going back and watching that, too. So if you haven't watched it in a while, get the kids, grandkids, nephew, niece, whatever you.
Yeah,
get
watch
your kids
it.
together. Just throw it on. It's on Disney
Yeah.
Plus if you have Disney Plus. It
Then
would be
it's free. There you
That's
go.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, it's time to get to your thought of the day.
Thought of the day, thought of the day. It's your thought of the day, thought of the day.
That was beautiful.
It's terrible.
Even though it's a movie about inanimate objects that magically come to life when no one is watching, the most unbelievable thing about Toy Story is how strong that claw machine grip is.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Just saying.
I like it.
Luke, are you going to leave us with a laugh?
I'm going to do my best with the help of our friend Brian from England in the Ultimate Dad Joke Book, 501 Hilarious Jokes and Puns by Humor Me.
Yep.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's a great
Of course
pen name.
you do.
Why are Sundays only a little sad?
I don't know.
Because the day before is a Saturday. Saturday.
Took a second, but okay.
Why did the man get fired from the bank on his first day?
I don't know.
He pushed a woman who asked to check her balance.
That's
He just
dumb.
Shoved her right over.
Yeah.
What does a house wear?
I don't know.
A dress.
These are so bad. How can you be
Are
laughing over there?
Are
yes.
they so bad? Or
Yes.
are you so mad that you just can't figure? I wouldn't
Yeah.
know them either.
No.
What has one head, one foot, but four legs?
I don't know.
A bed.
That's stupid.
She's mad now.
I don't like these.
What's red and smells like blue paint?
Red paint.
Yes, that's correct. One more.
You're not going to end on a high note there? You might as well have left it there.
I don't know why, but I love that one. It just gets me every single time.
Wait. No. Remember, we did these jokes in Roswell.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites was, what's brown and sticky?
A stick.
A stick. It's like the ultimate joke
That's
right there.
Absolutely wonderful. All right, one more.
End on that one, man.
No, I got one more.
Okay, what do you got?
I once told my wife her hair looked nice, and she still mentions it.
I don't get it.
Because I only did it once. And
Oh, okay.
Remember that time? Man, you ruined that one.
Yeah, well. It is what it is.
All right. Going out on a high note.
That's right.
That's episode.
That's what we call it anyways.
That's episode 104. Tell us something interesting about your grandparent. Facebook or right here, wherever you're listening.
That's right.
Find us on the website. You can send us a message there. That's lukeandnaomi.com.
That's right.
Everywhere else, it's Luke and Naomi on air. Just type in Luke and Naomi. We should pop right up.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I actually just typed in Luke and Naomi and then picked a title of a video. Mm-hmm. And it was like the first 19 options. So
Perfect.
we make it easy for you.
We're
Find
trying.
us, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube if you haven't done that yet. Greatly appreciated. We will be back next week with episode 105. Don't know what movie yet. You'll know as soon as we do.
That's right.
And yeah, that's about it, right?
That's it.
Any other housekeeping we got to do?
I hope not.
Hit that website. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you for 104 episodes. Until next week, have some fun and be excellent to each other.
Love you. Bye.